Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse series Sugarman Build-A-Figure Wave X-Man figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini Mafex fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
7 figures in the wave. You're going to need all 7 figures to complete the Sugarman Build-A-Figure. Quick look at the artwork on the side of the box. It is the same on both the left and the right flap. Alright, here we go. Nate Gray, aka X-Man. His bio on the back of the package reads, Nate Gray travels between dimensions armed with astonishing psychic powers. He's packed in with 2 of the 4 arms needed to complete the Sugarman Build-A-Figure. So X-Man, a creation of Jeff Loeb. He first appeared in the comic books in 1995. I think my first introduction to the character was when I bought the 90s Toy Biz action figure. It was like the Marvel's Most Wanted packaging or line or something like that, and I loved that figure to death. I don't know why. I didn't really know anything about the character. Whatever I knew was, I guess, on the back of the package at the time, but I played with that figure a lot, and even the little effects that came packed in with him I used even up into the Toy Biz Marvel Legends line. I wish I still had that figure to do a comparison now, but I'm sure some pictures will be popping up here. So X-Man is the Age of Apocalypse universe Cable. Basically, he is like a genetically modified Cable, but he is the biological son of that universe's Scott Summers and Jean Grey. But he is vastly powerful. I would say he's probably vastly popular too. I guess a lot of people wanted this figure to be made, but he's got a laundry list of powers, and he is basically an Omega level mutant. So he can do just about anything, including traveling between dimensions, and he's got great psionic abilities, telepathy and energy absorption and projection, and he's very powerful is the point. So finally, Marvel Legends has released an X-Man, their first time with the character. Figure's pretty good. It's decent. I do have a couple of little gripes here. I do think that the head sculpt is a little generic. I do like what they did with the effect there on the left eye. I do wish he was packed in with some additional hands, but these hands can be popped out and you can just pop in some other hands that you already have in your arsenal maybe. Aside from the arms for Sugarman, there are no accessories with this guy either. So pretty much the same situation that we faced with the AOA Jean Grey in the previous review. And just taking a closer look at his deco and talking a bit more about the character, you can see he is decked out in just gold and blue, or yellow and blue, and that's through and through. This jacket is a separate part. You can remove it, but if you remove it, you still have the sleeves here. So if you wanted him without the jacket, you would definitely have to do some type of kit bashing or customizing to remove the sleeved arms. Like I mentioned, the hands can be popped off, the head can be popped off, so if you want to go for something that looks a little less generic or do some customizing there, you can. Like I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of the way the face looks, but it's a very clean figure. I think he looks good. Being that he has traveled, or does have the ability to travel between dimensions and different Earths and what have you, he has shown up in the main Marvel universe quite a few times. Probably one of the times that sticks out to me the most is something that I actually showed in a video somewhat recently. I think Marvel was running the Apocalypse the 12 storyline or something like that, and he was there, and the whole sort of like Summers family was there. Cable was around, and they were in the X Mansion, and Xavier ran some like simulation to, I think he was trying to find out who the imposter was or something, and Wolverine ended up being a Skrull. But the Apocalypse the 12 storyline, he was running around with the regular Marvel Universe X-Men. But like I said, he's made quite a few appearances. That's just the one that kind of sticks out in my mind. So it's now 7 p.m. here. You may hear some noises outside of the window. My windows are closed, but they're giving it up for all the essential workers. So thank you to all the essential workers out there. But yeah, I don't think there's much new here on his deco. Maybe these knee pads, maybe the cuffs of the jacket, maybe the jacket, I'm not sure. Looks like everything is pretty much reused. I think this little effect on his eye is different. Obviously, it's different than the one that we saw on Cable. But I do think for the most part, this is clean. It's not too much paint bleed or paint imperfections. You can see just a little bit of blue bleeding here, but nothing really too serious. I think they have gotten much better. Hasbro has gotten much better with their QC and with their paint imperfections. I've been saying less and less that I don't see too many, or I've been saying more that I don't see too many paint imperfections. So there's that. So in terms of articulation, his head is on a ball joint. You can pop the head off, like I mentioned. He can look down really far. He can look up really far, which is great for a character that can fly. Shoulders are on a ball joint. They're going to come up that far. You can do a full 360. There is an upper bicep swivel. There is a double jointed elbow. There is a swivel and a hinge on the wrist. The ab articulation is really like an upper torso articulation, but somehow there's still a crunch there. The joint is further up towards his pecs, but it still is a decent ab crunch. So you can see that it works pretty well because the jacket is sort of a soft, pliable material. It's not really hindering the articulation too much. You can turn him at the waist. There's a T-joint at the pelvis. His legs will come up that far. You get a really good split. Upper thigh swivel. There is a double jointed knee. There is rotation at the upper boot or at the shin or the calf. And there is a hinge and a nice deep ankle pivot. So standard articulation for one of the male figures from Marvel Legends. Obviously this is mostly a buck that we've seen plenty of times. Alright, a couple quick size comparisons and I'm gonna get up out of here. So we got the Summers family, or what we have so far from Hasbro in terms of the Summers family, I guess. I guess at some point we're gonna see Madeline Pryor. I know that's gonna happen actually, but on the far left, we have the Brood Build-A-Figure Series Rachel Gray, aka Phoenix. I guess she was codenamed Phoenix for a while too, so it'd be nice to actually get her updated. This was in the early days of Hasbro taking over Marvel Legends, so this was actually one of their better figures in terms of the look, but the articulation was pretty poor. And right next to her is the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure Wave Cable, which is probably one of Hasbro Marvel Legends' best figures. And then we got X-Man right in the middle, and then we have the Love Triangle Cyclops and the Love Triangle Jean Grey. Alright, and one more here. I switched out Cable for the more modern version of Cable. On the far left, that is the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Cable. And then right next to him and right next to X-Man on his immediate right is the Dark Phoenix and Cyclops 2-pack Cyclops. And then from this same wave is the AOA Jean Grey. I can't really tell you how these characters have interacted or what his role is overall in the storyline as I'm still reading, so I'll keep you guys updated. And then on the far right is the Jean Grey from the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave. However, she has one of the heads that were packed in with the Dark Phoenix from the Phoenix and Cyclops 2-pack. Alright, I'm getting up out of here. This is number 2 of 7 for the figures from this wave. X-Man is a decent figure. It's one that you definitely want to pick up, especially if you want to complete this Build-A-Figure. Build-A-Figure is already shaping up to be, I think, one of Hasbro's best. So you guys already know that I collect all of the Build-A-Figures. So up next will be Sunfire. And then after the 4th review, I'm going to take a little intermission and do a review of the Black Widow and the gray suit, the classic Black Widow. So stay tuned for that. I got a lot of stuff I want to get to. Please hit that like button. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get notifications for my videos. Thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.